Go ahead, guys. I'm open for questions.
Chris, I guess when Illinois is going to make shots at that level, what challenge does that present any team?
Yeah, a big challenge. I mean, they're a terrific team. They're playing as well. We knew that coming into this game. They're playing as well as anybody in the country, let alone the Big Ten. And you got to live with. You got to kind of pick your poison on what you want to do with them, because they have great players at all 5 spots. They have guys who can hurt you from all 5 spots, and they shot the ball really well. I thought we actually got off to a pretty good start. It was 8-7 there. I thought we forced a couple turnovers. Then we went to our bench, and they hit us with like an 11-0 run right away. We had a couple really bad turnovers. They got out in transition. They made some late clock threes early in the game. And our offensive lack of offensive ability, really, you got to score against this team. And I actually thought in the first half, we only had 1 turnover, and we got a lot of good shots. We just shot the ball so terribly. And, they still would have had the lead, but instead of, I looked up one time, it was 33-9. Had we made any shots at all, maybe it's 33-20 or 21, and you're still kind of in the mix. But in this building, man, when they hit you with those runs, the game can get away from you. And got a lot of respect for what they're doing. Really well coached team, really smart team, really good team. And when they're shooting like that, they're going to be really hard for anybody to beat, let alone us who's struggling.
Coach, you split the series the past 3 seasons. Illinois swept this year. How have they regained control of this series and see a margin like tonight? Is this a difference of resources, talent evaluation? How has the series changed?
Yeah, they're a better team than us this year. Every year is different. They're a vastly superior team to us. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why. They have better players. They're better coached. They're a better team than us this year. And I actually thought we battled really hard, in our first game. It was a 2-possession game with about 4 minutes to go. And they're a really good team. They're just, to answer your question, they're better than us this year. Our last 3 years teams, we had pretty good teams. Right now we're struggling. We're playing a lot of young kids that aren't really ready for this level right now. And that's sometimes you got to take some lumps and go through it to figure things out. But the answer to the question is they're a vastly superior team to us this year.
Chris, with Waggler, what's the balance between blitzing some of those ball screens and kind of leaving it some of those shooters, or just letting him get one-on-one? How do you handle that?
Yeah, we made the decision to try to get the ball out of his hands. The way he'd been playing, I just did. He's been playing in such a rhythm. That we had a couple coverages we worked on, but to start the game, we wanted to, just try to make him a passer and make those other guys be playmakers. And because he's been controlling so much, the coverages that a lot of teams have been switching, a lot of teams have been giving him the ability to get in a rhythm and, that, and give those guys credit, those other guys, Davis, Hummerkaus, Mirkovic, Stojakov, they're really good players, and they took advantage. We were in some rotations, but we knew we were going to have that. I saw him get almost 50, in Mackey again switching. So we felt we had to try something a little bit different to try to get at some of his rhythm. And at times I thought it was successful. But then really, guys, they made some late clock threes. I thought we had some really good possessions in the first half where we kind of got the ball out of his hands and kind of got them scattered. And, man, 4 or 5, I remember, Davis hits one, kind of off his shoulder, and Ben hit a couple, and then Waggler hit one from about 30 feet right at the end of the shot clock, and then you hit a half-court shot. It was just kind of one of those nights for them. And conversely, we couldn't make anything. So when that happens, it's going to be a final score like you saw.
Other than just the struggling shooting, is there anything else that you felt just wasn't clicking for you guys offensively at all?
Yeah, I just think our ability to miss shots early, we're still very, outside of Nick, there's a lot of younger kind of unproven guys that are trying to find their way. And when you play on in the road in a hostile environment like this, and you don't see the ball go in early, like I remember Tyler Kroc right at the start of the game, he missed a point-blank layup. And for a freshman like that playing in a building, you make that layup, it's might be a different story in terms of your confidence. So, we really struggled to make open shots, and it kind of snowballed from there. They did a good job on Nick, but everyone's been doing that. It's not a different coverage than we've seen. I do feel like the last couple games, Nick's gotten a little bit worn down, and I got to get him refreshed. We play Sunday. We got to get him, not as much physically, but even mentally. I got to get his kind of pop and verve back. The last couple games, I felt like he's played a little bit tired, and that's on us. We can help, and we need some of those guys to help him too, because he's seeing 2 and 3 guys on every possession. So the only way to combat that is you got to make some shots and open it up, and we just haven't done it.
You mentioned that they were able to limit Nick. It's the first time with scoring only 4 points since FAU a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? You said it was kind of a similar coverage. Is it just kind of like that wear and tear, or what did you feel Illinois was able to take away from?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. They didn't, they made sure that he was smothered with space. They crowded the paint. They didn't really let him get to his little flip shots. He got a couple of them that he missed. But I thought for the most part they made him take tougher shots. They used their size and length against him. But again, I just have felt, we played Washington on Saturday night. I just felt like he hasn't had his legs, and is getting a little bit worn down. And it happens, man. When the way he has to carry us on a nightly basis, his teammates have to help him with that. They got to give him some energy. They got to step up and give him some production so he can get that back. But give Illinois credit. I'm not saying he just missed shots. They did a good job. They pushed him off his spots. They sent double teams, triple teams. They packed the paint, and they were daring a lot of our guys to shoot the ball. They literally were shaming a majority of our guys, and we just couldn't make any shots.
Along those lines, Chris, I'm curious how Illinois has evolved defensively since that first time. It seems like they're kind of hitting a stride right now on that end.
Yeah. They're smart players, and they have tremendous length, so it's really hard to score at the basket. You look at it, their 2-point field goal percentage defense is terrific. Kind of the one thing they've been giving up is threes, which is a little bit, because Brad's such an analytic guy, but teams have been able, like Nebraska got 15 threes the other night, but they're doing such a good job eliminating your easy baskets. And that's where I thought for us, we took 25 threes. For us, that we needed to make double figures, and we only made 4. And so, but their length, their smarts, they have experienced guys who played a lot of basketball at different levels, whether it be Europe and college basketball. The young guy, Waggler, plays well beyond his years with maturity. He don't look like a freshman out there with his poise. And, they're just, they're doing what a really good team does throughout the course of the year. They're getting better. They're better offensively, they're better defensively. They all know their roles. They're playing off each other, and they have a guy who can take over and be a closer for them. So they have all the ingredients, and Brad's a terrific coach. So they have all the ingredients to be able to play against anybody in the country. All right, thank you guys.